Okay, so a little update on the speedometer to the front wheel speed sensor on the tuning and HB tuners if you've got a 24X swap or LS car with a turbo 400, turbo 350, power glide or whatever. You just want to run the speed sensor to the front speed sensor that the ABS would normally go to. I made a video on how I did that and everything like that, but me and Chris went for a drive and we put the tire size at 25.4, if you can see that, and we started out with a gear ratio of 1.17. well, that was way off. We wound up getting the HB tuner's scanner to read best. Actually, it read perfect with a gear ratio of 2.8. But now the problem with that is HB tuners in the scanner. Hope I'm not making you too dizzy. But in the scanner, we come back to the scanner. So yeah, in the speedometer right there, it was reading perfect. But now on the gauge itself in the car, we was doing like 60 and it was reading like 75, I think, or something like that. It was like 15 miles per hour off. So what I did also in here, I'll just go over something here real quick. It's hard to hold the camera still, and you're all zoomed in, so if you barely even move it shakes the whole screen. But anyway, if in the edit up here, in Gear Tire Wizard, so you want to put your tire size in there. You know, measure your tire, do one of the calculators offline to get the diameter, or measure around the tire and divide by pi, and that'll get you your best size. But everywhere I looked had this tire listed at 25.4 inches. So you put a gear ratio in there. Now, and you want to read the speed and HB tuner's scanner. If it's reading, and use a GPS app on your phone or whatever. So if you're going 60 according to the GPS app and the scanner says you're doing 80, then you want to increase the gear ratio, and vice versa, until you get the scanner to read the correct mile per hour. Now, once you get the scanner to read the correct mile per hour, HB tuner's scanner to read the correct mile per hour, then what you do is you come in here. When I hold it with one hand, I shake more. Go to Speedo, and you're going to play with this number right here. Pulses per, and then mile. So I had 4,000 in there. So if your speedometer, that changes the speedometer in your car. It doesn't change anything else. That's all that does from the testing I've done. So I had 4,000 in there, and I put 4,200, and then it went from, before it showed 60, I was doing 60 and the speedometer showed 75. Well, I put 4,200 in there, and I was doing 60 and it showed like 82. So that told me right there I went the wrong way. So I went down to 3,500 from 4,000 that was originally in there, and that was perfect. The speedometer reads perfect. I had the GPS speedometer app. The scanner read perfect. I did 60. The GPS read 60. The HB tuner scanner read 60, and the speedometer read 60. So I went up to 70 miles an hour. Same thing. GPS read 70. The scanner read 70, and the speedometer on the car read 70. So if you guys are ever wondering if your speedometer, get HB tuners to read correctly first. Put your tire size in there, and then use the gear size to get you dialed in on the scanner. When you're running the scanner, you know, the scanner will show, if it's set up like normal, it'll show the mile per hour right there. But get the scanner on HP tuners to read correct first with your GPS app. Just by changing the gear ratio, you know, put your tire size in there and then just change the gear ratio until your scanner and HP tuners reads correctly. So if the scanner, if your GPS, if the GPS is showing 60 and the HP tuner scanner is showing 80, then you need to increase your gear size. Okay? If the GPS is showing you're doing 60, if the GPS is showing you're doing 60 and the HP tuner scanner is showing you're doing 40, you need to lower the gear size. And just keep playing with that until you get the scanner and the GPS to read the same. Now, and then once you get that, then you're going to go into HP tuners and change that pulses per mile. If the scanner and the GPS are showing that you're doing 60, and the speedometer, if your speedometer is reading correct, great, you don't have to do nothing. And that may be the case sometimes. But now, if the GPS and the scanner is showing that you're doing 60 and the speedometer says 80, you need to lower that number. And if the GPS and the scanner are saying you're doing 60, but the speedometer says 40, you need to raise that number. And just keep playing with it until you get it where it's supposed to go. I'm just showing a picture of my car here. It snowed the other day. It's been 60, 70 degrees for the past few weeks. But Saturday I decided to get cold and snow like 6 to 8 inches. And I hate snow, but hopefully this is the last snow of the year. And I figured I need to clean the car off anyway. Why not make a snowman? But anyway, if y'all have any questions, hit the comments below, like and subscribe. And thanks for watching.